this is my my new game plan sheet. I took some screenshots of it that day, so hopefully kind of the format isn't unfamiliar to you. What this sheet will do is, we will type in our plays for the week up here. And this is the only place that really counts as far as the wristbands go. But you can see the bands. They're color coded, which is different than some of the other ones that I have put out. And you can see all of them here. But this is a close up as far as like what a wristband would look like. This would be whatever formation is yellow that week to the left and to the right. And ultimately, we have nine different ones. We may not use all 9 in a week, but there are 9 different available, 3 colors per band, a 3-window band. We use the Epic Sports bands, and they work great for us. And I've got them programmed already to fit those bands. But this goes along with the R4 method of game planning. Now, I don't stick to it specifically, but I just kind of use it as a framework to kind of guide my thought process. But we'll take a formation, and I'll just kind of do one of my favorites here would be east, left, flex. And over here towards the right side would be the right side formation. And the P stands for personnel grouping because I like to make sure that I know which ones this would be. And for me, this would be the E personnel grouping. That'd be 20 personnel. So now we go to the bands. Obviously, I haven't edited anything, haven't cut anything out. Go to the bands, and now you can see east, left, flex up here. We can do that with another formation. Let's say deuce, left, flex, and deuce, right, flex. Whenever we go to the bands now, that's on the brown, and it's going to go straight down the list. So let's add in some plays. So I got all this from at least as far as the play sheet and breaking things down. This was from What is Open, the R4 book. I read that over the summer. So strong run, weak run, a 3-step and a 5-step category. And then you have a rhythm, read, rush, release, play for each. You can get the book for that. It's not my content. But let's just say a strong run to the left that I like out of east, left, flex would be 39, stretch, bingo. So that would be outside zone where we are just saying we're facing an odd front and we're going to arc the backside tackle and read it. Now you'll see automatically these numbers 1 and 2 popped up, and it's yellow because that's our yellow formation. You go to the band, and now yellow 1, 39 stretch mingo, yellow 2, 38 stretch mingo. And that is yellow 1, yellow 2. It's automatically popping up right there. The colors are automatically loaded, so the band is going to make itself. All right, if you don't, I'll talk about some of the things that I have to do later on here in just a minute, but just from a base game planning perspective, if you can type a play out on your call, if you can type a play out and your receivers know or your team knows, all right, yellow 1, east, left, flex is at the top of the band. So for all of these plays, not all those plays, but on all of these plays in this column, they're all run from east, left, flex. Now, east, right, flex, they're all run from this side. So they got to get their number. But let's say I call yellow 2. All right, I'm looking for yellow 2 on the band. What is the formation at the top of this column, and what is the play next to that number? So this gives you your formation. This gives you your alignment. Let's do another one. Let's say this time we want to add some motion to it. So we're going to go Z fly, 38 stretch, bingo. And that's got an error there just because of the way the formations are put in. But whenever I put this next play in for the right side or for the left side, it'll go away. So now we've got yellow 3 and yellow 4. So if you want to add some motion, here it is, and you can see it on another band over here to the right side too. But now your band is going to make itself from the play call sheet, and this works for all the colors and all the categories. I want to say a weak run to the right side. This is where I like counter. So if and you're going to see this is weak run to the right because the left side of all of these goes with the left formation. I don't know what happened there. But the left side of all of these groups, all of these will go to the left column. All the ones on the right side will go to the right column. Well, this is the formation to the left, and if we want to run weak, then that weak run is going to the right. So, like I said earlier, I like pairing outside zone and counter. So let's just say I'm going to go laser. That's our term for we are reading a handoff to the left. Quarterback's going to be the primary runner, and we're going to go 36 Q counter. Then to the right, or from the right side formation, it would be rocket 37 Q counter. And you'll see now these numbers are changing automatically. So if you were to go, 1 through 32, then the reason I have that is because I don't want it to just be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the defense can know that anything 1 through 16 is a run and 17 through 32 on the right side is a pass. So doing this horizontally, you're not going to really truly be able to key in outside of maybe like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, depending on where you put in different plays. But again, we go back to the band. You can see now it has changed. Yellow 3 is laser 36 Q counter. It's not Z fly 39 stretch mingo anymore. So as you're filling out the call sheet, like you can see, this is all real time. The band is going to fill out itself. And so that can be a massive time saver. We'll go down all the way here to the bottom formation. And I'm not going to put a formation in, but just say test play. That should be white 1. All the way down at the bottom, white 1, test play. There it is. And if we were to hit undo, that play goes away. Then now there's not a white 1 play for us there. So that is the special part of the band that I have for you is the color-coded wristbands and how it goes calling a play. Like I said, from the sideline, we can signal or we can holler yellow 4, yellow 4. And so the kids would look yellow 4. Okay, we're going to line up in east right flex and 4. All right, we're running rocket 37 Q counter. So I need to know what my job is on rocket 37 Q counter out of east right flex, and that's going to tell me what to do. Now, the rest of the play sheet is still pretty simple and pretty similar to what the others have been. I won't go. I've got some things on the ones that I'm gonna sell that'll kind of tell you specifically like what the difference between an opener and a play in the first 10 is, or priority calls. But what I will do from this is, let's say that I want to run the strong side outside zone from east flex here on 3rd and short. So I would copy these two, and it's 3rd or 4th and 3 to 4. Now I can click this cell on the left side and paste them in. And so now, you can do that from your entire game plan. Just copy and paste the plays that you want in the situations that you want them in. And now I can still, it's 3rd and 3. All right, the first play that I want to run is, outside zone out of east flex, because that's our yellow formation for the week. But I have it right here. So instead of having to type it all in and then go back and figure out, okay, what color was that, and change the color, and what number was that, the numbers are going to do it themselves automatically up here. And all you have to do is copy and paste it down below in these different in the different situations that you want them in. Goes for for 2-minute 2 in turbo, all goal line, short yardage, all the ones that we've had in the past, first 10 openers, all of them. You can just copy and paste from up here. So these cells up here are the only ones that have any impact on the wristband. So these are the ones that I will fill out first on any given game planning week. However many formations and plays we're going to use out of those formations, all of them are going to be up here. From there, as the week of practice goes on, that's where I will build these different scripts from. And then one thing I like to do on Fridays is come down here to the second page, and this is where I like to really put in, okay, what did I like from this week of practice? And for me, how I call a game, I don't necessarily just personally, I don't like having just all of the this is everything I have out of this formation, because I like knowing how things work together, or plays that have this, if I want let me just go ahead and get down here. So like personnel group run play 1. I might want all of my 11 personnel outside zone runs in one place. So this would be, I said E, but this is out of a 6-man box, so I consider that kind of 11. So this might be my first variation of an 11 personnel outside zone. Okay, well, how can I get to that again? We're induced left flex. All right, so I can go fax motion to 39, stretch, Mingo, and fax 38, stretch, Mingo here. So this is going to end up as the same play. By the time the F motion's across, it's going to be the exact same presentation of the defense. So I might bring this one and copy it down here. Okay, so if I have, if we ran, east left flex, 39 stretch Mingo, we ran it on the first drive and it was good, but I don't want to just line up and run it the exact same way again because the defense probably figured it out or talked about it on the sideline. I can get to another variation, the exact same thing, right underneath. So I will go through on Fridays and put, in the morning, put these together, all the things that I liked from this week of practice. Now, I'm not going to change anything up top later in the week because that's going to mess with, the bands. That's going to mess with what number things are. So if I don't like how something looked in the week, like maybe we just couldn't get this motion timed up for the Z-Fly 39 stretch Mingo, I would just leave that out from down here. So I'm not going to include that in my 11 personnel outside zone look. If I didn't like how this looked in the week, maybe we didn't get to it in practice because we had to spend some time on something more important, then it might be up here. It might be on a wristband, but it's not coming down here. And I'm going to call most of the game just personally from this section here because I can see, this was kind of level 1 of outside zone out of 11 personnel here. And now we're getting down to level 2 when we motion to it. So that's what I would do with those. That's kind of the difference there. But as far as what I'm excited about this to share with, it's really the bands because all the ones I've done in the past have just been, one line really for the quarterback to read in the huddle, and it's got the whole play on there. And as I was, coordinating early this season, we just found out that just wasn't going to work for us. We were taking too long in and out of the huddle, and players were having trouble remembering things. So it got to where we needed some specific things on the wristband, and that's why you'll see I've got Q wristband, H wristband, which is the running back. I've got one for the offensive line. We'll talk more about that one. That's special here in a minute. The F wristband. And then I've got some receivers over here as well, and I have a reminder on here, Y wristband, always on. The X wristband, you're always on. Z, always off. All right, so I have those reminders on there for them too. So if you're in a place like me where you have to tell your players exactly what to do, this also can help you because you don't have to go through your play sheet and look at what each play is and then come back to the wristband because they're preloading in every band. You can scroll through here and see every band's getting them preloaded. So what I do here is I just get in the mind of my quarterback right here. Okay, so the quarterback needs to know the formations. That's not changing here. But on 39 stretch Mingo, what does the quarterback need to do? Okay, his read is on the right side. And if he gets a keep read, he is running to the right side. Right? So 38 stretch Mingo. His read is going to be on the left side. We're running outside zone to the right. That's ideal, right? But his read is on the left side. If he gets a keep read, he's running on the left side. Laser is a specific term that lets him know, okay, the running back's on the right side. He's crossing your face. Your read is on the left side, but you are the primary ball carrier. All right, so laser would tell him all of those things, and then it'd be laser run right because if he gets a keep read, he's going to run right, and a lot of times I will even tag that with inside because it's counter. So rocket would be rocket run left inside. So he doesn't know anything else that's going on. All right, he doesn't necessarily know whether it's counter, whether it's power necessarily. Now going to power read, that would just be laser run left inside because he's not running counter the other way. He's running power read on this side. Now for a motion right here, he does need to know the motion. So we would go Z fly, read right, run right. He doesn't need to know that it's just Z fly to this exact same play as yellow 1. He just knows that we got Z fly, then his read's on the right side, and he's running to the right. So what this allows you to do if you're in a situation like me where we're just having the full play isn't what the players need, then I can just get in the mind of the quarterback and I can just blow down through these. And I always have the same plays on to the left and the right. Now we might not run the exact same play to the left and to the right, but I'm always going to have it there. Maybe that's just a personal thing for me, but it also is going to keep your things consistent, because let's say that I want to run 39 stretch mingo to the left, or I want to run outside zone to the left over here, but I don't want to run it to the right. Well, if I take that away, now my numbers have changed. All right. And so now my number 2 call is going to be laser 36Q counter, but that's supposed to be when the formation is to the left. All right. But you can see over here when we haven't edited yet, now it's number 2. That's saying the formation's on the right. So all the odd numbers are when the formation is to the left. Even numbers are the formation to the right. So I always want to have it mirrored. And that, like I said, that's going to help me carry through all of these as well, because it's just going to be the exact same thing flipped for all these. But that's definitely something to consider. Now you can do that. And now this is number 2, and I can manually change this to a 3, and that can fix those things, and we just wouldn't have a number 2. But that you're going to be editing some things that you don't necessarily need to at that point. So like I said, my advice and what I do, I just keep it both ways. Like I said, we may not run it to the right, but it's going to be there, and I'm going to have it. It's just going to be on the band. We may not run it, we might not practice it, but it's going to be there just to keep things actually easier for me. So that's the quarterback. Let me tell you what I'm going to do for some of my receivers. All right. So my receivers, they not anymore. They don't even get the formation. All right. So this is my X. The X always goes away from the call, and his base alignment is the number 1 receiver. So in east left flex, he's going to be the number 1 receiver to the right side. On east right flex, he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver to the left side. On both of these play calls, he's going to stalk the first person off the sideline. Actually, on all of these, he's going to stalk the first person off the sideline. So stalk 1. He doesn't need to know that all 3 of these are different plays. He needs to know his job. And so if you're at a place, if you've got an offense, or you've been in there where they know that's what they can do based on the play call, then there's not even any editing that needs to be done. But what I do each week, like I said, I will go through the mind of my position, of whatever position is this. So now I'm going to be in the headspace of the X. What do I need to do on this play on deuce left flex? Okay, I'm going to be the number 1 receiver to the right side. All right, so I know that for all these plays, that's where I'm at. And then, what am I doing on 39 stretch mingo? I can do that, and I can blaze through these pretty quickly. So I think even if you're at a place, or you're in a position where you still have to give your players specific assignments, I still think that this spreadsheet can help you, because there's no flipping back and forth. Because these plays are going to preload automatically like this, it's a lot easier to just get into that headspace and just type out what you need to do, as opposed to, okay, well, I'm going to print a play sheet here, and then when I've got my wristbands and I got to think about all this, the plays right here. Once you start, you don't even have to erase it. All right, it's Excel. Once you start typing, the things are going to go away, and you can always hit escape just to back out of that cell. So, like I said, ideally, you're in a place where you can just use the same wristband for everybody, and it's got the formation and the play call on there. But if you're in a spot like me where you've got to give kids specific assignments, it doesn't take very long to get through all of them. Now, I do want to show you the offensive line, because that one's a little bit different than the rest, just because there are so many of them. Because I've got enough to where you can just print one round of these, and I'll talk about printing again at the end. but the offensive lineman is linked to the rest of them. So you'll see offensive line, they don't even get the formation. All right, whether you're at a place that you need the formation, the offensive line probably doesn't need the formation. So I don't have it on there. But they don't need to know, actually, for yellow 3 and yellow 4 here. They don't need to know laser or that it's the quarterback running counter. They just need to know that they are running 36 counter on yellow 3. On yellow 4, they just need to know that they're running 37 counter. They don't need to know that it's the quarterback running the counter. They don't need to know the backfield action, the rocket and laser. Now for motion, I just put mo to tell them that there's motion. If the defense hollers it out, you know it pre-snap, so don't jump. So I tell them mo, and then this was 39 stretch Mingo. This was mo 38 stretch Mingo. So there's that. But this first offensive line wristband, instead of having to do all of that every time, it's linked to the other offensive line wristbands. So you'll see right here, this was another one that just says regular 36 counter, not rocket or not laser 36 Q counter, just like we typed it in. And you'll see that in this whole page of offensive line wristbands. They're all linked together. So once you fix this first offensive lineman wristband, the rest of them will go automatically. So you only have to get into that offensive line headspace one time. Now, it would take way too long to think about what does the left tackle have to do here? What does the left guard have to do here? I think the offensive line has to be able to figure out the constraints, because if the defense doesn't come out in the front that you expect, it's all over. If you tell a left tackle that he's got to hook a 5 technique on the play side of outside zone here, well, what if they get into an odd front and that's a 4-eye? There is no 5 technique. What am I supposed to do? So they got to be able to figure things out on their own, as far as I'm concerned. I do also have a tab for coaches as well. So coach isn't general. So this is able to be printed out as a full size paper, regular paper, and it's got all the formations and all the colors on here, and it'll fill itself out automatically. But I'll just print these out for the coaches. I don't have to go through here and fix everything for them. But you can just print this out, laminate it for the coaches, and everybody's got one so they know what the play is called. Because my play sheet, it doesn't. I guess they don't care necessarily what I have game planned for 3rd and 4th down or in the red zone. Now they do. We're in practice and things like that. But in the game, it's just a lot easier for me to say yellow 2. It's a lot easier for them to find it if they just have, okay, well, yellow 2, there's 38 stretch Mingo. So if your coaches don't like the full scientific play sheet that we got going on over here, if they just want to know what the play that's being called is and find it pretty easily, then this is a sheet for them. And like I said, it's going to fill itself out automatically. You didn't see me filling this in. It's all based on where things are put in, how the numbers show up over here, and it's going to fix through all that. But printing the bands, last thing, and then we'll be done. You can print them out. I've got them, as you can kind of see through here. I have the borders set, the page borders, so that you can print them double-sided on the long edge. And what that's going to do is the long edge, it's coming out landscape. You do it on the long edge. So when you flip it this way, when you flip it over the top instead of from side to side, this quarterback band slot is going to go right behind this quarterback band slot, or I guess I should say vice versa. And when you cut them out, they're going to be flipped. So you only need one paper to go in that top part of the band. That is the reversible side. So a 3-window band, right? You've got your one on top, you flip it over, and there's another side of the top part, and then you got another one on the bottom. That's how the Epic Sports Bands works. Not sponsored by them. That's just the bands that we use. They're like $3 a piece, and they've been good for us. So I wanted these to fit those for my purposes, and I just want to share this with y'all. So whenever we do that, you can print it out one-sided, saves a sheet of paper, also saves space and time. It's one less page that I have to, I say one less, but these are going to add up quickly. But it's, one less page that I have to slice per person, per position, and it's automatically flipped. The pages line up exactly the same. Maybe you can tell from here that, everything's going to line up the same. So when we flip it on this edge here, this band is going to line up with this band, and this band, which is the F, is going to line up with this band, which is the other F. But they're going to be flipped so that whenever you flip open the band, it's going to show in the right direction. It's going to be, from top down, just like it would be. Now we only have 3 windows, so I do have it set to where the bottom group of bands has a page. I think I just have like an X down here at the bottom or something that doesn't matter. It's going to get cut out. But so that you don't have to worry about, okay, well, in this round, I'm going to print pages 1 through 3. And then on the next, round, I'm going to print pages 2 through 4 and have to worry about what's double-sided, what's not. You can just go, it's 12 pages, but 3 of them are blank. You can print all of them, in one round, double-sided on the long edge, and you're going to get your bands for every position and enough for 6 offensive linemen, I believe. Maybe it's 6 because you get every there's 12 ones. So even for a backup offensive lineman. But what I'll do is I'll make the first iteration of these early in the week, and then if I maybe type something in wrong on my end and I need to fix that, by Friday we get it all ironed out, and I'll print 2 copies of it so that I get a backup for every position as well. But like I said, the exciting part about this, in my opinion, is all you have to do over the weekend is game plan. You type everything in your play sheet the way that you want to call it, out of your formations and things like that. You type it in up here. Again, these are the only cells that have any influence on the band at all. And then, the band is going to essentially make itself. If you're fortunate enough to be at a place where you can say east left flex 39 stretch mingo and everybody knows what they need to be doing, then you don't even have to make your bands. You just have to print it out and it's going to be there. But even if you do have to go through and individually give people assignments, everything's still in one place. You just got to type over what's already there. You just get in the mindset, all right, for this, for these 2 or 3 minutes, I'm the quarterback. I'm going to blaze through all these based on what the quarterback would do on this play. For this, for these 2 or 3 minutes, I'm the F. I'm going to blaze through all these things is what the F needs to do on this play. So that I think can help speed up a process there. Unless you just are somebody who you're going to use the same bands every week and you just got to decide what plays on the band you're going to call. Definitely a time and a place for that style too. But if you're at a place where you've got to make new wristbands every week, like me, but you've also got to tell your players exactly what to do, I think this will help speed up your process too.